So as we have already set the stage for excellence in the facilitation of technology into this landscape, let us understand how digital transformation can happen with the help of SaaS products. India is becoming one of the world leaders in building technology-led companies.
Let us hear what the roadmap for building world-class SaaS products from India looks like from Mr. Vivek Gupta, Country Head and Senior Director, ISV Prime JAPAC, Oracle. Mr. Gupta.
Thank you very much. First of all, thanks NASSCOM for inviting me for this session. I think the session before me, which was preceded by Arvind, Pulak, Sanjay and Dr. Satyajit, I think that could have been the best session before my presentation, because I am talking about everything that they touched upon. As they were speaking, I was taking notes. Arvind spoke about data, how we are leading from India. He spoke about talent, which is, I think, is in abundance in India, right? In almost every field, not just IT, but in every field. And we all can be very proud of that. He spoke about AI. Pulak touched upon a very interesting thing, 1.5 million jobs. I was not aware of that, so I think that was amazing to know that this part of the town has created 1.5 million jobs, and that's amazing, amazing to know. Sanjay spoke about security, cost versus value, and Dr. Satyajit touched upon many things, startup products, right? And that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about today, right? So I'm very, very excited. Thanks again to NASSCOM for inviting me today. So this is the opportunity. So if you look at the whole world is changing. India was seen as a market from a cost arbitrage standpoint. And while a lot of companies have gone about creating huge amount of talent, we are helping the world in delivering many of the problem statements or solving many of the problem statements. Having said that, the world is also looking at us now that what you can bring to us. And that's where the whole evolution of SaaS is happening. That's where NASSCOM has this 10,000 initiative, right? Because the whole world is looking at that. And that presents a huge opportunity for whole country. And this part of the world is no different. So some of the data points that you see, and these are all data points coming from some of the source that you see that you may not be able to see, it's actually down there, but it's coming from McKinsey report, it is coming from IBF report. So there are different reports which is actually going about substantiating the opportunity that is available, right? So if you look at the global SaaS market is expected to grow from 3 trillion to 10 trillion, and that is where the opportunity lies for India. India has, and this is slightly dated data, but still very relevant data. India has 1,000 SaaS companies, and many of those SaaS companies are actually already serving globally. But we haven't solved all the problem statements, right? And that is where the opportunity lies. One of the things that you'll see there, which is the fourth point on the first market size and valuation, is SaaS constitutes 1/3 of the Indian software product market, right? The rest is all on-premise. That's where the opportunity lies. Even if you look at investments, the third piece on this slide, you look at all the investors, or even when you hear Dr. Satyajit talking about, he was talking about creating products. I did not hear him talking about, obviously he was focused on creating talent. Webel spoke about it, right? Sanjay spoke about it. Everybody is talking about creating talent, but eventually I think Dr. Satyajit summed it up very well that they are trying to help the whole startup ecosystem grow, product ecosystem grow. That's where the huge opportunity is, right? And India, we are in a very unique state, right? We have natural advantage which many other countries out there doesn't have, right? And there are really four key things that we are talking about. One is sector efficiency. If you look at the whole capital that is needed to launch a business in India is way lesser than compared to a whole lot of other countries, right? Or especially some of the developed nation, right? So, and with whole evolution of cloud, the cost that you incur to innovate has come down drastically. It is no longer a discussion about invest $10 million to innovate. It's about maybe invest few $1,000s to innovate and then see if it sticks, right? That is where Dr. Satyajit also made another point that I think you mentioned 5% of the startups, right? That is where the innovation is happening, right? Like you can start, innovate, works. If you're able to solve a problem, continue with it. It doesn't solve the problem, go ahead and do something else, right? That's where the amalgamation of cloud with the whole opportunity is coming through. Domain expertise, right? You look at large IT services companies. I was with the gentleman from Infosys before entering here, right? They're looking to start business here, but they've been in business for long. There is so much of domain knowledge, right, that they have, each of these companies have allowed or have got from their various global engagements. So, because if you look at all the startups which is coming and disrupting, they are trying to solve one specific problem statement in an industry. They're not trying to solve whole problem statement in an industry. And that is how they have been able to drive success. The third thing is less expensive customer acquisition, right? If you are a SaaS, right, there's no need for you to go to Europe, deploy your software, let them test your software, etc., etc. You can do everything from here. Your cost of sale, cost of customer acquisition is coming down drastically as well, right? And then I think all the four gentlemen spoke about creating talent, specific areas. The gentleman from Webel spoke about security as a focus area, etc., etc. There is so much of talent that we have, right? And it's unmatchable. Like many of the countries just can't match the amount of talent that we have, right? Like millions of people with very deep skills, right? And that talent pool continues to grow, right? With obviously universities like IEM, they are also focusing on building the talent. There's so much of academia is actually taking the lead, right? In also fueling the innovation. So, and that's what gives us unparalleled advantage. Really 4 key areas, right? As I was preparing for this session, I was talking to Sanjay, Sayan, and everybody. As we were talking about this, I really thought about 4 key areas, right? Wherein the startups needs to focus on to get the full potential, right? First, accelerate innovation. The world is changing, and it's changing very fast, right? And it's changing way too fast, right? Because the whole transition, which used to happen earlier in 10 years, 20 years, one technology wave, second technology wave is in 20 years, third technology wave is another in 20 years. That doesn't happen that way. Like it's like every day something is changing. The speed and pace of innovation has changed, right? So the SaaS companies or companies, or those of you who are looking to build products or thinking about building products, you have to really focus on this area, acceleration and focus on the innovation part so that you are able to kind of drive new ideas, new solutions at a much faster pace. Reduce the risk, right, for yourself, right, which means avoid vendor lock-ins so that you have enough opportunity to go and address new market with best-in-breed solutions, which may continue to evolve, right? Security was one of the aspects which was talked about, and I'll touch upon some of these aspects. Improve profit margin, right? Eventually, you are creating product to solve a problem, but the intention is also to make money, right? So how do you minimize the overall cloud infra cost, or reduce your customer acquisition cost, or reduce your cloud administration cost? These components are extremely critical for being a successful SaaS company. And then the customer LTV. Customer experience has become more key than before, right? Gone are the days, the whole evolution of cloud has democratized the way IT is consumed. It's no longer a discussion wherein you buy a $1 million worth of license or $100 million worth of license, I don't care how you use it, it has become very consumption-driven economy, and that's where it is extremely important that there is extreme focus, right? Extreme focus on the customer satisfaction, right? These are some of the things that Oracle is enabling, right? So Oracle has a business which is OCI, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, which is Oracle's IaaS and PaaS business, and these are some of the elements that we are focusing on, right? This is a very fast moving business. Many large customers like Ubers of the world are adopting. In India, Diksha, which is one of the largest education portal by Ministry of Education, they have adopted OCI. So a lot of these components gets addressed, and this is Oracle's way of actually enabling the SaaS ecosystem. So acceleration on the innovation, while I have slides on each of these things, but high level to touch upon these things. One, on the acceleration of innovation side, open source is one of the key things. By design, we are enabling so that you are able to adopt open tools for your development and innovation. There was a lot of discussion around security, right? Like on the Oracle world, we by default offer zero trust security layers. A lot of security is inbuilt into the system. So security can be very complex, right? Like in all the other cloud systems, you are required to go and build various level of securities. A lot of those things comes inbuilt. All data which comes on OCI has to be necessarily encrypted, not just in rest, but also in motion, right? So how we are able to drive more risk-free environment for your customers, because that's something that your customers are going to be asking, right, when you deliver them SaaS service. Improving the profit margin, right? While OCI is another cloud, but fundamentally we have gone about rewriting many aspects which is impacting the profit margin that a SaaS companies can drive. So we are on an average 30% cheaper than all the other clouds there. But it has happened, we are able to deliver that kind of cost for SaaS companies or even for businesses, because we have fundamentally rewritten many things. And we are happy to go deep dive or have a side conversation with you if you want to have a specific conversation on any of these points, right? We also have a different flexible pricing model, which means as a product company, when you sign a contract, you have flexibility to use any OCI service. You are not required to go and get into contract to save cost for a specific kind of compute or storage or network, etc., right? You don't have to do that. Then it's about, once you have built a great product, eventually it's about sales, right? You have to sell it into the market. So there are a lot of go-to-market specific assistance or programs that we have, which we encourage or work with the SaaS companies to actually make sure that they are able to sell more in the market. And we are also encouraging existing, because a lot of our companies that we work with are already Oracle customers from a database standpoint, and we do have certain programs wherein we give you incentives to move to cloud and stop using license. That's what the Oracle Support Cloud program is. It's a well-written program, documented all on the web. And then we are talking about SLAs as well, right? So if you look at all the other cloud providers, they provide you performance guarantee, but we also give you additional SLAs that you can enable, that you can transfer to your customers around manageability and availability. So there are a lot of things. Quick deep dive on all the 4 aspects that I touched upon. First is accelerating innovation, right? So one, as I told you, our general principle of OCI, and it will be very critical for you to build a great SaaS product. We are not trying to define our own standards, which essentially means, right, and I don't want to use this as a forum to actually start comparing with other clouds, but which essentially means Like take example of say Kubernetes, for example. You don't have to worry about, say tomorrow if OCI is not the best platform for you and you want to move out, you don't have to really bother about portability challenges away from OCI, because we are not trying to write our own standard on top of it. We are giving you the, we are adopting to the same standards that has been given by many of these open source initiatives, and we are fully compatible to upstream to make sure when you write any line of code on top of these technologies, your transition out is also that easy, right? And that's a great thing. We are also working with, see, if the world is going to be a multi-cloud world, it is not going to be all OCI, all AWS, all Azure, all Google, right? It is going to be, there is a lot of collaboration which is going to happen. Like we are working very closely with Microsoft, we work very closely with VMware, just to make sure that the technology migrations, support, all is very easy for customer, and customers are able to adopt the technologies, right? You don't have to learn anything new, right? That is what this slide talks about. So you don't have to learn anything new. Whatever technologies you are adopting, whatever technologies you are comfortable with, right, open source or closed source, you can adopt those technologies to actually drive your innovation. Profit margin, we spoke about. This is where I was talking about that we have fundamentally, because the OCI, which is called as Generation 2 Cloud, right? We have fundamentally gone about changing many things, which is allowing us to actually offer a better price value for your cloud consumptions. Example can be as simple as egress cost, right, which is the data cost. When you take data to cloud, it doesn't cost you much, but when you try to download, it starts costing you a lot of money, right? So we are like, we'll be like 1/5 of the cost of on the data side. You get 10 TB free every month, which means 120 TB in a year. So that gives you a lot of leeway as a SaaS company to actually go and deliver a meaningful, reasonably priced application for your customers. You can read about better price performance for Intel, AMD. There are more to it. In many cases, our performance is actually way better with half the compute in certain scenarios, and we can talk about it. A lot of flexibility on the IOPS side, which is related to performance of your application. So you don't have to continue adding storage to get a higher IOPS or better performance. So a lot of flexibility from that perspective on the profit margin, which can enable for you. And another interesting thing is we offer you standardized price all across the globe. We have 46 regions all across the globe, 23 countries. You get same price all over. Like if you are using any other cloud in this room, you can realize if you're using a cloud in Dubai versus Singapore versus India versus US, the cost is same. It's different for all the other clouds. For us, it's all same all across the globe. The ROIs that our customers have experienced, you can see some of the customers who are using OCI, but this is extremely important metrics for your customers, for your end customers whom you will be selling these products to, right? And those are the things that Oracle can enable for you. This is where I was talking about, like obviously you need to be part of, once your product is ready, running on OCI, you need to be part of the OPN program that we offer, which is called as Oracle Partner Network, and then you can get access to a whole lot of things. There are a lot of, there are different levels, like if the consumption is high, then we also have certain motions around ISV acceleration program, when there's a lot of co-sell motion also, which we allow you to support. I'm just rushing through in interest of time. I'm seeing some anxious faces here, especially Sayan. And then we were talking about security, right? So one, compliance, right? So we have 62 odd global, regional, government, industry attestations. Like in India, we have MITRE certification. But there are a lot of, like if you are into healthcare and you're selling into US, you need to be HIPAA compliant. So all those compliances you can build with us. I was talking about security by default. Zero trust security models are inbuilt into the platform, which allows you to give a more secure system to your customers. And I'll be around, so if you want to talk about any of these points, I'll be very willing to talk about it. We don't have enough time, but I can tell you that we do virtualization in a slightly different way, which allows you that it doesn't go and impact all instance type, even if there is something happens. Like the malware will not, like, say, go and impact all your full instance or full infrastructure that you may be consuming. So we call it off-box virtualization. We can talk about it. But more interestingly here, while a lot of these things are inbuilt, right, and they are by default on, but most of these security services also comes at no cost to you, right, as part of this. So think about from a SaaS standpoint, right, you will be able to go and not only innovate, but also able to offer a more secure system, right? We are very willing to work with you, and will continue to work with NASSCOM in their journey of creating 10,000 SaaS companies out of India. We would love to be partnering there. With that, thank you very much for your time. And yeah, I'll be around if you want to talk about anything in specific. We'll be very glad to have a conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for this wonderful insight. I would like to invite Mr. Ravindra Chamaria, Chairman of Infinity Group, requesting you, sir, to please come onto the stage and hand over a memento to Mr. Vivek Gupta.